Welcome to Scientists from the Past, where we get to know a few out of many microbiologists that have made an impact in the field. Let's get started with Robert Hooke. He discovered little boxes, or cells as he called them. Another scientist, Alexander Fleming, almost threw out mold-contaminated cultures. He further examined the cultures and saw that there were clearings around the colonies. These clearings meant that there were no bacterial growth. The fungus was identified as Penicillium notatum and later was renamed Penicillium christogenum. We have now penicillin, which is an antibiotic. Moving forward, 4 more scientists that I want to take a look at. First, we have Louis Pasteur. He is known for principles of vaccination, microbial fermentation, and pasteurization. In Europe had major troubles in the silk industry. In 1865, Louis Pasteur helped fight the silkworm disease. The earlier workings of Agostino Bassi helped Louis Pasteur to find out what was the problem. Bassi realized that it was a fungus that caused another type of silkworm disease. With all of this information, Louis Pasteur concluded that it was a protozoan that caused the disease. Louis Pasteur and fermentation. What caused spoilage in wine and beer? Well, a group of wine merchants asked Louis Pasteur why their wine and beer was spoiling. Their method for making alcohol was to have it exposed to the air. They thought that the air was converting the sugar into alcohol, when in fact it was bacteria in the air that landed in the alcohol that caused the spoilage. Louis Pasteur discovered that it was yeast that converted the sugar to alcohol. So how is spoilage of wine and beer prevented? Heat was the answer. Heat the wine and the beer, and that killed most of the bacteria. This was called pasteurization. Our second scientist is Joseph Lister. Joseph Lister knew that phenol killed bacteria, so he used a phenol solution to treat surgical wounds, and he used it in medical procedures. Our third scientist, Robert Koch. He proved that bacteria cause diseases. Here we have Koch postulate. So in 1, he collected the specimen from a dead, diseased animal. 2, he isolated and identified the bacteria. 3, he infected a healthy lab animal with bacteria. 4, he collected the specimen from the lab animal. And 5, isolated and identified the same bacteria that caused the previous animal to die. Our last scientist is Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner and the cowpox experiment. Well, the cowpox swept through Europe, killing thousands and wiping out 90% of Native Americans on the east coast of America. Now, a milkmaid said that she could not get the cowpox because she had a previously mild case. So what Jenner did was gather cowpox blister scrapings and inoculated an 8-year-old volunteer with those scrapings. The volunteer became mildly ill, recovered soon after, and never contracted smallpox or cowpox. In result, there is a vaccination and immunity because of this experiment. So thanks for visiting Scientists from the Past. Now that you filled out your outline while watching this video, go to Test Your Knowledge interactive slides. This is the Test Your Knowledge section of the video. These are the scientists from the past. So how this works is that you click on a scientist and you click on the correct answer. If you get the right answer, you'll see correct. If you get the wrong answer, you'll see wrong. Once you go through all of these scientists, you can click End. Alright, it's game time. It's time to have a little fun with microbiology. So I'm going to test you and see if you know your scientists from the past. Okay, I'm going to spin the wheel and then ask you a question. If you get the question right, of course, you get the points. If you get the question wrong, you do not get the points. Okay, for 45 points. Who was known for proving that bacteria cause disease? For 70 points, explain Koch's postulates. For 10 points, who was known for the concept of pasteurization? For 45 points, who was known as the father of immunology and for discovering the smallpox vaccine? And for 75 points, who was known for the antiseptic surgery? Well, thanks for playing the big wheel of microbiology. Add up your points, keep score, and feel free to post your points on Facebook. The Rock is Strong Foundation.